I thank you for coming back to the conversation. We're talking about different communication styles and relationships based on your attachment styles and the attachment theory. Really good conversation here, Dr. Ibby. You were talking about these 4 different styles. The ladies have identified what their styles are. I want to hear yours, though.
Yeah, I would consider myself fearful avoidant. So that's the combo package, where sometimes I'm like a little anxious, and then other times I'll pull away, shut down.
And you attract?
Typically that type, the combo package, or more like anxiety. Anxiety.
I gotcha. So what have you learned just based on what our guests today have talked about? And is it something that you hear often in terms of who we are and then who we attract? Is there kind of a pattern?
There is a pattern. I've noticed that a lot of people do think they're securely attached. No, not shading anybody here. And then after a couple sessions with them, I find like there's usually something else happening. Because securely attached people, they're usually not on the dating market very long. They're usually happy in relationships, off frolicking through the fields. And then,
I want to frolic through the field, so I guess that means I'm not secure. Got it.
And then, usually when you're attracting people who are avoidant or have, some different tendencies you were talking about, you have some emotional unavailability yourself, deep-rooted, that you don't realize.
Is anybody willing to admit that may be the case?
No, I'm agreeing. I'm going to agree with that.
Tosh, thank you for being honest. I'll be honest and say that too. When I heard that, I was like, okay.
Yes.
I just feel like when I know what I want, and I know how to communicate, I would assume that's being securely attached.
I think a lot of people do think that, because some people, there is overlap sometimes with avoidant attachment, where they show up as they have everything all put together. They might show up as securely attached because they're independent, they communicate sometimes, but deep down inside, there is that deep avoidance.
So I feel like, let me just make the distinction here. There's a difference between the attachment styles and love languages, right?
Right. Yes.
Explain briefly, because I think people maybe think, oh, that's just how I connect. It's how I communicate. It's how it's a little deeper than that.
Right. Love languages is just how you like to be loved, how you receive love. So I believe there's quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation. I'm missing one.
I'm impressed that you remember. I guess that's part of my issue. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Something about touch, right?
Physical touch.
Yes.
That's clearly not mine.
So when we find ourselves in a relationship, right? Either our close friendships, our mother-daughter relationships. What is it that you talk to your clients about? How to interact more effectively, right? Because if you know who you are and you know who they are, how does that help change how the interactions go, how you live and love on each other?
Yeah, I would say knowing your attachment styles is really important, just as your love languages as well. Because if you can communicate to people how you need to be loved, or even just if you're anxiously attached, it's like, I just need a little more reassurance sometimes. If you're avoidant, I just might need a little bit more space. Just being able to say that can make all the changes in your relationship, rather than showing up like passive aggressive and now you're in your feelings.
So for the person, or maybe even the parent who's like, okay, tell me more. Okay, if you want to, I will admit that I can, with my sons, be like, okay, now tell me this. Okay, now what about this? Now tell me this. Are you doing
everything?
And the sons may be like, I'm good. That doesn't necessarily make them avoidant, though, right? Like, how do we as parents manage those things?
Yeah, just attuning to your child the way they want to be attuned to, right? So if that means they're chilling, they're good, let them be good and believe that.
But what if you know?
Then I know
when they're
people
just
come to
being
you.
quiet versus, no, there's something I don't want to talk about. And I think as parents, that's just our natural desire to want to help.
Yeah. Just be trusting that they'll come to you when they're ready. I would say that's the biggest thing. I think, we've all been teenagers before. The more our parents hounded us, the more we want to shut down, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, just let them come when they're ready.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard as a parent because you want to fix things. You want to be, mom, but just let them come.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. With Matrice, our relationship was a little bit like that, where I had to let her kind of come to me because it started off, I want to know everything, and no, I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that. Just being so overprotective.
May I ask,
but
was-
I had to push back.
Was some
And
of that
then-
overprotective style because you didn't want your daughters to
Yes.
have babies early?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're nodding.
Yes, I absolutely agree. My mom, she's not super overbearing, but she's always, you know, she want to know what's going on, and she's always giving us the freedom to communicate. For me, I communicate with my mom all the time. I'm very open with her, but I do still conceal things until I'm ready to express them with her.
And you've had your first baby. How old were you?
23.
Okay, so were you like, phew, or were you like, that's still too young? What were you?
For me, when I told my mom I was pregnant,
Were you scared?
I felt like I was 14, 15 years old, even
Yeah,
though I was
it
23. It was
was.
very scary because we've always had it in us, don't have babies, go to college, get your degrees. So for me, I still wasn't where I wanted to be in life, so it still made me feel as though I was still too young.
Yeah, I understand. Taj, for you, this little one is on the way. What's, I don't want to ask, are you anxious, right? Because every
Yeah.
mom's got a little bit of, but how are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm surprised still. It's something I've always wanted, but like now that it's here, I'm just like, whoa.
Right, right. And thinking about what kind of mom you want to be.
I know I'm going to be protective, but I know I don't want to be overbearing. I want to create the safe space, but I want my child to just know that I'm here for them. I'm their biggest fan and supporter.
They will know.
And this
She
is
will
just
know.
where it's,
Yeah,
for
don't
sure.
worry. It's natural.
Yeah.
It will. They know.
Can I give a tip?
We can't have it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
right after the break. Right after the break. More tips
Yeah.
from Dr. Eby, and Dr. Eby made me take a little test before the show. So we're going to learn a little bit more about my attachment style, because as I look at all four of those, I'm like, I can be any one of those on any day of the month. So let's figure this out. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.